I mean, the Mail, Peter's got an agenda, right? Because all the papers have their own agendas. But they make a point, don't they, when they say, can you believe a word Sir U-turn says? Because this was the key policy, which is now not happening.
Absolutely right. I mean, this has been a slow motion car crash, culminating in this most screeching of screeching U-turns. In lots of ways, it was predictable. They came up with this extremely ambitious plan 3 years ago, thereabouts, subsequent to which, of course, Liz Truss trashed the economy. So all of a sudden, where's the boodle? We don't know. And very clearly, there's been a huge tussle between Treasury hawks in the shadow Treasury team and the leader of the party who wanted to stick with it. And this has been made manifestly clear over recent days and weeks, where on the one hand, Starmer has been saying, yes, we're going to stick with it. And on the other hand, the Shadow Chancellor saying, well, leaving the matter very much open. Well, very clearly, she has won. And I have to say, for Starmer, this must be particularly depressing because of the fact there is always tension between prime ministers and chancellors, because prime ministers want to give the people what they want and chancellors say, excuse me, but we haven't got the money. Well, very clearly Starmer has lost this particular battle, and it must be pretty depressing to think I'm in this awful bind before I've even got the top job.
Well, that's right. And it could lose him the top job, you could argue. I mean, we were looking at the Mail earlier, and yes, they've got their particular agenda. But even newspapers that you would expect to be supporting Labour at the moment, for instance, The Guardian here, fury as Starmer stages U-turn on £28 billion green investment pledge. They're losing their power base, aren't they, here, when it comes to an election?
Well, they're certainly in a double bind, that is for sure. Yes, on the one hand, you've got the Tories crowing at their change of plan. On the other hand, you've got the left of the Labour Party or the Green tendency saying, look, hang on, you've let the planet down. And it's worth remembering the context of all this, that last year was actually the hottest on record. This January is the hottest on record. It's pretty much universally acknowledged by scientists this is to do with humankind messing the planet up, and extreme weather events are, alas, the shape of things to come. And so, I mean, this stuff really does matter, but in the end, short-term political considerations have trashed it.
Just a quick one, Peter. Away from the sort of scandal side of this, which is, a U-turn, it begs the question. There's so much criticism of the government's economic policies at the moment. The question now has to be levied at Labour, doesn't it? Well, what are you going to do to turn things around, to grow the economy, to keep interest rates down and to reduce inflation and all the rest of it? Because they don't seem to have a plan anymore.
Absolutely. I mean, what has focused minds in the case of this particular issue of the green thingy is the fact that because they don't know when the election is going to be, they felt the need to have their manifesto in place by actually this week. And so they're having to pare down on a whole range of things to make the thing plausible so they don't get accused of Truss-style profligacy when it actually comes to the crunch. And indeed, Rachel Reeves, the Shadow Chancellor, has gone to enormous trouble to woo business. And so she is very clearly now the dominant force within the debate within the Labour Party. And what we've seen over the Green agenda is only one of what is bound to be a whole variety of different issues that they're going to be struggling with.